In this video, I'm going to show you how to stretch the gap when you're on a sales conversation so you can get prospects emotionally engaged in your sales conversation when you're trying to sell video. Now, once you master creating the gap in your sales process, you're going to be able to charge more, and you're also going to be able to help more customers and win more deals because you have an understanding of why they're actually buying. So a bit of backstory, how I learned this and how I came across this. When I first started selling, I absolutely sucked, and I struggled for quite some time before I came across this quote. And this quote was, sell people what they want and give them what they need. Now, when I first heard that, I didn't really get it. And this is where an example I'm going to show you in the iPad just now is going to show you what you're probably doing when it comes to you selling video and how you can address and solve this problem that I was making the same mistake back in 2016. So jumping on the iPad right now, what we have here is a point A, which is on the left. So this is point A on the left, and then we have point B. In the middle is the gap, right? So ultimately the goal in sales is to create some sort of gap or find what the gap is and then stretch it. The further point A and point B are for a prospect, the faster they'll make a decision to change and the more money they'll invest into it, right? So very simple to understand that, but let's talk about what the mistake is that I made back in 2016. So what I used to think is a customer would come to me and they say, the problem was I don't have video, right? Over here on the right is what they want. So it's like, right, what you want, you're saying to me is you want a video. So what I would sell them would be this vehicle would be, hey, let's jump in this vehicle, which is we're going to film, we're going to edit, we're going to turn this around in 7 days, and you're going to have a finished product, which will be a video, right? So in the middle here is the process. So this is the process from point A to point B. Client would say to me, I don't have a video, I want a video. I would then go, hey, we'll film it, edit it, turn around 7 days, blah, 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 whatever it's going to be. That is how the sales conversation used to go. And I'd price them based on the video that they said that they wanted. Now, you might be able to relate to this. Have you ever done this? You send it to a prospect, you send them the quote, and then they've ghosted you? Have they? If they have, there's a reason for it, and I'll explain this in a second. Maybe you've sent it to them and they've come back and they've gone, hey, this is really good. However, it's a bit out of our price range right now, and we're actually going to go with this other option because it's cheaper. Now, if that's happened, it's because you're selling the wrong thing. Because what I realized, and going back to the quote that I mentioned before, is what people want is not actually the video. If you actually ask them why they want the video and what the video they believe the video is going to do for them, they will say different things. So let's break this down and clear the screen for a second and go through an example of what it can be. So point A, again, point B. So the correct way of doing this is we know obviously there's a problem. Now, depending on the client or the prospect that you're talking to, there's going to be different problems. So let's use a real estate agent as an example that you're going to create short form content to build their personal brand. Like the problem that they have is they have lack of leads. It's a very common problem. They have lack of authority, and just scribble stuff here. They have lack of brand awareness, have lack of time. Time is a huge issue, right? They have all these problems. They have all these problems in their business, especially a real estate agent. If they're wanting to grow their brand, they have lack of authority. It's a huge, huge issue. If you ever worked with a real estate agent, there are so many of them. There's so many dentists out there. There are so many. This is a very common problem in every single market you can think of. Is like the commodity markets. There's a lot of them that have a lack of authority, which means they're not standing out from the competition. They're basically like everyone else, and people aren't seeing them, right? This is the same thing for you. You have a lack of authority, a lack of confidence, a lack of brand awareness, probably in your marketing right now. And that's okay. If you're watching these videos on my YouTube channel to learn about this, that's super cool because we're going to teach you how to do that. But this is a common problem that your potential prospect has. This is what a real estate agent has, right? So that's the problem. Now you see how it's not video. Video is not the problem. Problems, lack of authority, lack of brand awareness, lack of people understanding what they do, lack of time to create videos themselves. Now on the right is what they want. Now what they want is they want more money. What they want is more time, right? Time. What they want is more freedom. What they want is more status, which is they want to be known in the marketplace. Okay, these are just a few things. So just use an example here. So on the right, we've got wants, which is point B. On the left is point A, which is the problem. In the middle here is the process. And this is where most people go wrong, is they get stuck on trying to sell the vehicle, which is your content package or your video offer, or your brand story, or whatever it's going to be. And you get stuck in this loop where you're having this conversation, prospect comes to you, and you keep trying to sell them video. What we need to really start having a conversation around with a prospect is really getting clear on where they're going. And a really good way to frame this and asking a question over here, I like to ask this question. This is how we create the gap. So whenever I'm on a call with someone, I don't go, why do you want a video? I go, hey, Sally, imagine you and I are sitting down 12 months from now, and we're looking back on the 12 months that's just passed. And the reason we're catching up, Sally, is we're celebrating the year that you just had. Now, my question for you, Sally, is what needs to happen in the next 12 months, both on a professional level and a personal level, for you to go, you know what? That was an incredible year. What needs to happen for you? Shut the fuck up. When I say that question, what happens is that person, Sally, starts thinking about the future. And what they usually say is, well, I want to double, and they'll say different ways of saying this. They'll say, I want more money, I want more time, I want more freedom, I want more status, I want to become the go-to person, I want to double the business. They'll say different ways of explaining these things here, right? When someone says that, what you're actually doing is creating a gap. And when we put a 12-month question here, instead of what do you want in the next 90 days or next 10 days, we're stretching the gap. Now, sometimes you could do a 3-year question. That might be stretching a bit too far, but 12 months is a really good starting point. So that question that I use is from a guy called Dan Sullivan. I didn't invent that question. I've been using it for years. It's a powerful, powerful question for people to visually and emotionally get engaged in where they're going. Now, most people actually don't know. This is the funny thing. Most people don't know where they want to be in 12 months. And this is where it's a really cool moment for you to direct them and say, hey, do you want to make more money? Is that the reason why you want video? Are you wanting to grow the business? Are you wanting to recruit more team? Are you wanting to build your brand? Like, what is it that you really want? You're going to figure that out. And when you sit there and you actually ask them some clarifying questions around, hey, so when you're earning that extra $20,000 per month in your business, what does that allow you to do? Does it allow you to hire more team? What does it allow you to do on a personal level? Does it allow you to buy a house? Does it allow you to, be able to go on more vacations? When you start to ask those questions, that person gets emotionally connected to their goals. Now, how do we transition to selling video? Well, it's a really good question. And this is why I like to talk about point B first, is we need to then circle back to where they are now. Now, when you've talked about someone's future, we go back to, okay, so obviously you're not where you want to be right now. Tell us a little bit about where you are. What's the problem? What are some of the issues you're having right now? Where are you in monthly revenue? Where are you in your business? What's the current issues? Lack of leads, maybe how much time are you spending? Like, how much time do you have right now? And they say, hey, I'm working 80 hours a week, right? So you start to create and write down all these problems that they have. They start to tell you basically what's going on in the world. What this does for when a prospect is explaining this to you is you're not really telling them what to do. They're telling you where they are and where they are. And what they're doing is creating a gap in their mind, which is from where they are to where they want to be. And a really good example here, and using this analogy with the car in the middle, is think about it. When you pick up your phone and you go to the Uber app or whatever it is that you use to get a ride share or a taxi, whatever it is, when you put in, what's the first thing you do? You put in the destination of where you want to go. That's the same thing that we need to put in first, is we need to figure out where they're going. What is it they want? Because the further or the bigger the goal, or the bigger the gap, or the longer the destination, when we choose the Uber, the higher the price. If we book something that's 300 Ks or 400 miles or whatever it's going to be in your metrics, if you say you book an Uber that's going to go very far, it's going to be very expensive. And this is why it's really important to get really crystal clear on what is it they want, what they want in their business on a personal and a professional level. Because someone, if you're talking to the owner of a business, usually has some personal goals which relate to their business goals. I know I do. Whenever we set goals in our business, it's because I have personal goals to buy the next property, to be able to go on more holidays, to be able to provide for my family. Like, those are things that I'm emotionally connected to. Buying a video is not. I don't give a shit. Creating this video, the reason I want to do this is because I want to make a bigger impact. So when I invest in my team, that's what I'm investing in, is making a bigger impact. I want to make a bigger impact because it makes an impact on my life, which increases our status, which increases our net worth, which increases how much good I can do in the world. So people have different reasons why they want video. They don't just want the video. The video is the vehicle that takes them from point A to point B. So when we know where they are and where they want to go, we can then create a vehicle that can take them from point A to point B. And in most cases, if you have a standardized product or service that you're selling, it's a retainer offer. Most of the time you're selling a 3 or 6 month or even 12-month retainer. That's where you can help them facilitate their goals. Now, not everyone can you help take them to that journey. And this is where, if you're ethical in sales, you shouldn't be selling everyone just for the sake of it. If you really want to help people, you really need to figure out what is it they want and where are they, and create a solution, which is the vehicle in the middle that takes them from point A to point B. This is how you stretch the gap in sales. When I first learned this, it changed the game for me. The quote I want to reiterate one more time is sell people what they want and give them what they need. What they want is those goals, those destinations, their dream destination where they want to go. What they need is a vehicle that you can provide. But they won't buy the vehicle unless they know exactly where they're going. They won't jump on the Uber unless they know where they're going. So you need to put the destination in first, stretch the gap, and this is how you sell the gap. If you got value out of this video, I'd love to know in the comments down below. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to this channel just yet, we bring out videos like this every single week to help you grow your videography and video agency business. And if you've got a question around this video or any videos that we post on this channel, drop them in the comments down below. Love to know, as we might be able to cover a future video for you to be able to help you grow your business. That's it for this video. I can't wait to see you in the next one.